So here we go. First day, first week of the annual plan. We are going to get it. So you have seen a few sessions, but before I say what we are going to do today, I'm going to remind you of what the speed journey is, how you go from how you build speed and throughout an entire year, because this is what we are going to do this year in 2025. We are mainly going to focus on speed and building speed progressively throughout the year. And so I'm going to remind you a little bit of the process that goes into it and how you do that. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about a few things about the work that we are going to do. Today this is mainly technical work. Because let's just get right into it. The first phase, there is mainly three phases when it comes to speed training. The first phase, you do two things. You want to build volume and break your technique to reconstruct it. Because at the beginning, most likely the fact that you are lacking speed is more about an inefficiency in your swing rather than just you being slow. But there is also a lot of factors that come into it: strength, endurance, and so on. So the first phase is that we break things and build endurance. The idea is to progressively, at least this is what I'm going to do, I'm progressively going to build the volume of training to about 200 balls per session at the moment. And also that's because my leg is still a little bit hurt. That's better. I went to see my osteopath yesterday. That's a lot better, but I don't want to force it too much. And yes, so what I was saying. So yes, I don't want to force it too much because yes, my legs still hurt a little bit, and I already done a gym session, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I did and the details after. So the first phase, you're breaking your technique, you're building endurance, but don't do 200 balls at once. The idea is you do session 30, 60, 90, 100, 120. So you build progressively up. Me at the moment, I believe 100 balls per session is kind of where I can recover for the next day. But I've seen that in the gym earlier that my endurance is pretty much at an all-time low. So that's something I really need to kind of build up at the moment. So that's the first phase. Then, once you have built that endurance, where you're able to go after it, because I'm going to be training 6 days a week, and the goal is to make 200 balls per day over 6 days per week. So once you're comfortable with that amount of eating per day and only eating drivers, that's really the key here. Where are you beeping? I forgot something. Here we go. Let's get back to it. Because I have some settings that I feel are much better with the camera, mainly with the shutter speed. Anyway, so let's get back to what we were saying here. Once you have built that volume with the driver, that's 200 volts with the driver. Let's be clear, that's not just eating iron. And you are getting comfortable and you are able to maintain your speed. Let's say you're swinging like normal at 110 miles per hour. The idea is for over 200 balls, you're able to maintain that speed. So that's really the key here. And once that's done, you enter into phase 2. So the phase 1 for us is going to be mainly I believe, the master cycle that you have saw on the annual plane. I believe I should be able to get there, because there is also the idea of the technique. You want to, you break your technique, but at the end of this first phase, you want your technique to start getting more and more solid, stabilized. because then you enter into the second phase where this is still a lot of volume, but you are going to try to push speed as well throughout those 200 balls. Well, that's not 200 balls at 100% intensity. That's a little bit different. You want to hit about 100 and 120 balls of what's called speed warm-up. The idea of a speed warm-up is you progressively introduce more and more power sources, and if you have done the first phase right, you know what the new power sources or what all the power sources you have in your swing are. And so throughout those 120 balls, you need. We are going to. I'm going to do that in the future. But we are going to build a process to progressively get faster and faster without necessarily spending more energy. But what you want is adding more and more power sources, adding them in the right order. So progressively throughout the 120 balls that you hit to warm up, you are getting faster and faster just because you are becoming more and more efficient. You are activating more and more muscle fiber. And once your body is fully ready, once all your muscle fiber are fired up, what you want to do then is going after it as hard as you possibly can for about 70 balls, which is going to be, so this 200 ball framework that I just shared with you is going to be the core of this year. We are going to do 2 full cycles. I believe on the annual plan that the US Open cycle and the playoff cycle. So those 2 things are going to last until the end of the playoff, the Tour Championships, probably. That's just to give you a time frame of things. I'm not playing those tournaments, but that's to give you a time frame. And then you have the last phase of a speed journey that is kind of successful, where you really have pushed yourself to the max. Then this is about, because something to understand is speed and power are very fatigue sensitive. And so you may wonder, okay, but why do you eat so many balls and get tired if speed is so sensitive to fatigue? Good question. The reason is the volume of ball is not to teach your body to is not about actual speed. It's about efficiency. The first 2 parts of the speed journey, of a speed journey, because this is something that you can do in 2 months, 3 months, or a full year like we are doing here. The idea is you want to become more efficient with your own swing. You want your body to use as few energy as possible and yet being able to produce more and more speed. You want to constrain yourself and ask of yourself to produce more speed. That's kind of the issue, because understanding that by doing so, then you will understand. Your subconscious is going to figure out the right timing, how to transfer the energy better, and so on. And all of those things are things that last longer. They are things that will bring your baseline swing higher. Where the last phase, and honestly, if your goal is just to increase your baseline swing, I would say you don't even need the last phase, because you just need to do a lot of volume with a lot of intensity, and you will get more and more efficient. Your body will get used to swing faster and faster over time. But the last phase is about pure speed. So what you want to do is you want to drop fatigue as much as possible. So the workouts are going to change drastically. They are going to reduce enormously in volume, focus more on intensity, power, and speed. And you should end each workout pretty fresh, not really tired that much, to be almost energized to then do the speed session. And the speed session, you want to arrive at them really fresh and really going after it as hard as you possibly can. And you can even cut the last phase in two parts. You have the first part where you maintain the high volume, but you are reducing the fatigue from external sources like like training in the gym and so on, or even you spread out the session, like not every 6 days per week, but every 2 days, only 3 sessions per week. So you really arrive really fresh, re-energized, and so, but you keep the volume. This is important. At this moment, you keep the volume. And then the last phase is about really finding your sweet spot. Because maybe for some of you that's going to be a lot lower, maybe in 30 balls you can reach your top speed. And maybe for you that depends really on your genetic. That maybe the 200 ball benchmark is actually the way for you to get as fast as you possibly can. That's really depends on your genetic. If you are more, if you have more marathon runner type of genetic or more powerlifting type of genetic, that depends. But the idea is at the end is really a peaking phase for speed, where you are reducing fatigue as much as possible. You are finding your sweet spot in terms of volume to actually get the fastest as you can be. And over the last few sessions, the idea, honestly, is not going that far above 50 or 60 volts total. You are making, maybe doing, with all the volume you have done now, your body should be really comfortable with your technique. It should be just about speed now, about your ability to fire fast. And to do that, you don't need to warm up for that many balls. Now you have done that for the whole year, so your body know how to warm up. And then you are doing for maybe 20, 30 balls, and then 30 balls of warm up and 20 balls where you're going after it and you're trying to push speed as fast as possible to be the fastest as before you get tired. That's really more a neural systems type of training here. So anyway, that's kind of the speed journey. And so now that this is said, I can go on with the rest. So I forgot the support to put the camera on my tripod. So I took the one of my iPhone. So I cannot put it there. I mean, I'm going to try to put it there, but I'm not sure this is going to work. A renter, because I'm renting my apartment in Airbnb, so he just messaged me. I need to answer it to be sure it's okay. So yeah, I'm going to try. Let's try now. At least I will see if I can have. Otherwise, I will do this session without having any feedback. I mean, I'm going to work like everyone else. So let's put the camera on here. Up. And see if I can somehow get a view on my swing. I'm not sure I can, but we'll see. And also, I didn't thought that my setup could be more complex than it already is. But I have bring my other computer. I haven't put it there, but the idea is now we are training. We stop messing things around. The idea is now I need to fix my technique. We are close. Over the last few sessions, we have made some good improvement. But I was kind of guessing, and when you are training seriously, because that's also that, and that's okay sometimes to just train, to chill, enjoy. That's okay. But there is time when you need to focus and be serious. And now is the time. We have 2 months of hard training coming up, and we need to go after it really with good intention. So what I'm going to do is on my other computer, I have the 2 Rory swings that I've shown you, and we are going to start working on the down the line view. And if you want to go more detail about what I'm looking for, I've done a detailed analysis last week. You can go check it out, just to have a very deep understanding of what I'm looking for here. But yeah, but the issue is I need some kind of a feedback here. So we'll see if I can have some or not. Let's see. Up, video. Let's see. Oh, fuck it. Okay, perfect. I'm not asking more than that, but the equilibrium of my iPhone is kind of really yeah, not that. Let's say I'm not going to touch it for the rest of the session. It worked. That's fine. It's not really down the line perfectly, but you know what? That's fine. Let's since I don't want to mess up my because the swing for me with my iron and my driver are quite different. Mainly with the face. With my iron, I really very easily get the face close and a bit across the line. So for me, it's almost at the top. I need to feel that the club get completely flat. Where with the driver, for me, that's quite the opposite. I need to feel that the club get across the line. So since we are working on driver, don't mixing everything up at once. Let's not focus on the video, otherwise I will start making some bad adjustment here. Also, I bring this because honestly, I'm kind of good because I've seen my. So I don't know if you knew that. This is doing wonder for tight muscles and my leg. Yeah, basically I had a lot of tight muscle. I had a lot of tight muscle, and so my osteopath kind of released it a little bit, but I still have a lot of issue, and especially because I've done. You have saw my training plan earlier. I went to the gym. I went hard, and so I'm already sore. And in terms of calorie, so today I counted in advance the protein shake that I'm going to do just after the session. But I will basically end up the day at about 2,100 calories. And before coming to this session, I was already at 2,000 calories of expense, let's say. But so normally I should. I know that generally speaking, this is I do 1,000 a little over 1,000 with every session that I do. So I should end up at 3,000 and above. So we should have my 1,000 calorie deficit for the day, which was the goal. This is the goal: 1,000 calorie deficit for every day for 2 months to get back to my 10% body fat. Okay, I guess that was the fifth one, so we can move on to the 5 wood and then the driver. Up. So yes, I realized with the gym session how out of shape, not necessarily out of shape, but my athleticism and endurance are really all-time low. I worked a lot on strength, but athleticism and endurance is really a different beast here. So I'm leaving the technique a little bit. I'm going to explain exactly in detail what I'm looking for here just after. That sounded really nice, this one. But yeah, so So I did my routine. I did only 100, and that's really amazing. I told you about this 100, that 1,000 reps workout, and each time I'm mesmerized because just doing one round, I'm already like dying. And the idea is that by the end, I will do 10 rounds like it's nothing. Just mesmerize me. I just each time I'm getting back to it, I just realize either both how far I am and how much I can progress. That's just insane. Really wide. Oh, the stinger. The stinger. But yeah, we're fine. Yeah, let's go. Let's move on to the driver because this is what we're looking for. So there is a few things I'm looking for. First of all, I'm sick and tired of my top of the backswing position from down the line. That has to end today. I don't care what it takes. Second of all, this is really the halfway point that is important. Being able to to have massive amount of rotation with very little hips action, to be able to set the club correctly. That's kind of really the key thing here. And so let's do just 1-2 swing is just to get warmed up, and then we move on. Oh shit, I put this 5 wood on the driver's data. That's okay. Anyway, I will change that later. So, set on the right leg, then I'm kind of pushing vertically and trying to shift my weight to the left while rotating, but preventing the club from getting that side, trying to keep it as far away. And then once I shift here, I build the leg, but that's also something. When I think about building the leg, I'm not really resisting here. I'm just loose. So what I need to do is actually getting down and forward, because the club, once it's reached this point, start pulling you back and up. So to compensate that, to have a good end of backswing position, I actually need to move down and forward to compensate the club. That kind of also the thing I kind of looking for here. Oh yeah. So I did my 100 reps. I did my body building. I get back to the squat and try to do 10 reps. But for me, 10 reps I'm dying for 10 reps. That's horrible. I only managed to do 5 with the weight I was going for 3 sets. No, and the downswing is not that great here. Because last time I told you that, okay, you build the leg and then you try to get the hand in front, but I was doing it with the upper body where actually you build the leg here, then rotate with both here, and then the pelvis kind of continue, and then you have a hyperextension kind of the back, which continue to bring the hand even further, which finishes the rotation. So that's also something I need to work on, because you know what? For the first few swings, just focus on that, since we're going to focus a lot on the rest of the motion later. Of course, I'm not very used to it. My legs are dead, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Because I'm doing my session on a very low energy, my body is going to have to be forced into getting more efficient. Okay, I believe that's it. 101. I believe that's my leg. They are completely off. Swinging 101 is kind of a joke here. Anyway, no, let's look at it. Okay, so my hands are a little too high, yeah. Then the club set about here, which what I want to see is having my club completely set and my hand kind of at the center of my chest, and also you see that my hips already start turning, so that's not good, and probably all of that will end up with a really bad top position. Not that bad actually, not that bad, just my hands are not very high. I don't like that, they are a little bit too much behind me here. Anyway, that's the first step. Let's pull out my second computer so I can have a clear view what works and what doesn't. I don't know if that's useful that I record the screen of my second computer, because it's going to be very annoying in terms of edit to actually put the two together to know exactly when I'm talking, when I'm looking at it, when I'm not looking at it. I mean, you can probably just take a look at it for yourself on the second tab of your computer, maybe. Oh no, this is not this one. This one. Ah, this one. 2014 Valhalla. 2014 Valhalla. Let's first, and what I'm, over the last few weeks, we've done a lot of work going from the beginning all the way to the end. We have learned a lot, and you know what? We need to do that by cycle. So we are going to start again from the beginning. I'm going to try to get as close as possible to Rory's position at the takeaway, and then trying to also get as close as possible to the halfway point. So here, probably even once I'm set here, it's probably just trying to rotate my shoulder without moving my hips and letting the club set, maybe. Let's see. Oh yes. I mean, the club. I need to compare, because I say oh yes, but I need to compare to actually. Okay. I guess that was that. I'm taking a look at it. Of course, I have 2 layers on me, so I'm not as fit, let's say, as Rory. The only thing, it seems that I'm already getting a little bit too much upright. It seems that Rory is a little more vertical, so probably when he's setting, yeah, and then he's probably rotating, but much more vertically. That's also maybe why the club head is a little bit more forward than mine. I believe the motion is right. I just need to get a little more vertical. But that's basically it. Is once I'm set on the right side, it's just about really rotating that upper body and trying to keep the leg, yes, the leg as still as possible. But doing it almost in a vertical motion here. Okay. Yeah, but now I'm getting too much outside. I believe we're on the right track. I just need to adjust a little bit. So Maybe this is just those rotation of the two forearm like this. Once I'm set here, I kind of rotate the shoulder vertically while trying to really open my hand. Even though I was thinking that was more hinging motion. Maybe the hinging come first, and then as I'm rotating, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I know we are far from speed training now. I just want to get that right, and then once it's right, we are going to build speed through that motion over and over. Okay. Honestly, that doesn't look that bad. That doesn't look that bad. Okay. Let's assume that this is on the right path. My hips are dead straight. They haven't moved a bit. Then this is about, okay, how do I get to the halfway point here? Which is about like this. Okay. So I'm setting. Then I try to move on the inside, but hinge. Let's try, yes, to do that, trying to keep the club as far away from me as possible while shifting my weight. So here. I'm focusing so much on the backswing here, I can't possibly actually do a nice. Oh, halfway point. First I was too outside, okay, again. My hips turn too much, and I believe that's why the club doesn't set. My hips turn too much. Okay, so here. Hola. So here, yeah, I just try, maybe after, but just try to really rotate the hip, not really focus on the downswing, on the shift to the left for now. I think I have already too much work, a lot of work to do already with the halfway point here. My hands are, getting way too much outside here. So yeah, okay, the shoulder rotation is fine, but I need also to set the club here. So here, and by the rotation of the shoulder. Oh, okay. Yes, once you are here, you rotate the shoulder, and using the shoulder rotation, you set the club, and normally you're set here. Oh yes, you see? Oh. Okay. Halfway point, okay. Hips didn't move at all. I'm fine with that. Then I'm actually setting the club pretty fast. The club is fully set by the time the hips have moved a little, but not that much. And Rory also have his hip that move just a fraction at this point. But they are moving in a different manner than mine. They're moving kind of, mine are moving kind of like this, where his is moving like this, creating a lot more resistance. Okay, so let's try to reproduce what I've just done here for the upper body, but with the lower body we're going to get. So the idea is I set the rotation of the shoulder actually set the club here. Yeah, actually that's probably what I need to do as I'm rotating my shoulder. I should kind of, because here on me you can see that my right leg is kind of my left leg, sorry, is kind of extending or at least not really bending, whereas the one of Rory is kind of bending all the way throughout the backswing. So that's kind of, I believe, he's probably not moving his hips at all, but just the fact of bending his knee actually turns the hip just what he needs to actually make his backswing. So, okay. That's why once I'm set on my right leg here, you see when I set my right leg, I'm bending a little bit. So maybe I should just try to bend then the left leg to get back to my left side, just that. I'm bending here to get to the left side, and then I'm bending here to get more to my left side. Right side, left side, sorry. So, here, we are doing it again. Here, and then here, okay. Ah, didn't record. Maybe I should maybe try to kind of retain my left hip from moving forward. I don't know. Maybe. It is just that. It's just since the club is going to have a lot of momentum here, probably what happens is if I don't resist this hip backward like this, probably the club is going to pull me kind of out of my posture, and this because that's mainly the angle between my left leg and my torso that kind of is extending. So maybe that's kind of resisting with the once I'm here, I set, then I'm kind of rotating the shoulder and trying to almost engage the hips a little bit. I don't know. Nah. Ah, but yes, I forgot. The top of the backswing is the transition. Of course. Of course. So as long as I don't focus on the right transition move, I cannot get the top of the backswing perfectly. And at this point, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do the transition right with the backswing. So what I'm thinking is maybe I should just hit all the next ball, just trying to repeat the right motion of the backswing, which is going to be more than enough work for today probably. And then once that's done and I'm able to be consistent with it, then moving on to the next part. That's much more methodical and kind of stop fucking things around approach, I believe. So yeah, at least if I can get a perfect backswing until the halfway point, that's going to be a big win for today. Then we'll focus on what's come after later. So let's just try. Even though my brain doesn't want, I want to do everything, but let's try to and do a perfect backswing. Okay? Here, then there's the shoulder rotation or actually setting the club right from the beginning. Okay, seems good. And let's reach. Oh, maybe the set that I'm doing with the hand at the beginning, maybe I should just already start prepping the rotation and the set of the club. Maybe yes, this is when I shift my weight to the right leg, I need to start engaging with the shoulder, the set of the club, rather than with the wrist. Then it's much easier to just rotate, finishing the backswing here. Probably. And let's look at it more in more detail here. Club perfect ici. I have nothing to say. My hips start moving a little, but that's okay. Club over the right shoulder, perfect position. Just my hips already start moving too much. So yeah, probably that's. I really need to feel that this is a big shoulder rotation and that my hips are not moving at all. But what I don't like with that is kind of I'm rigidifying myself instead of actually having a nice motion. How my hip look like here at that point. Take away. Okay. Still a little too much here. The hips shouldn't have moved even a bit for the takeaway. Yeah. Okay, hips barely moved. Maybe yes, that's maybe just a lack of practice. I just need to keep going, keep trying to recreate that big shoulder rotation in here. Yes, maybe that is. At the beginning, that's okay to set the club with the shoulder, but then if I keep going, I'm going to get too long. So probably I'm preventing it from actually. So if once I reach it, she turn, but try to prevent the club from setting. Maybe. So. Because the longer the club goes, the less rotation I can have. So yeah, let's try to do it, but with a nicer backswing, a nicer takeaway, because here I was too much outside. Oh, way too much outside. The hands are higher. Did the hips. No, the club set way too late. Yeah. Maybe I cannot. Can get into the right position halfway point. Yeah, but the top of the backswing is really a consequence of. So let's think about it. So I'm kind of here. I'm not thinking about it. Maybe the fact that I'm trying to get vertical means that my body needs to adjust by raising itself. But if I try to kind of set the club, set kind of flat, and try to verticalize it with my body, maybe I will be able to actually bend that leg a little. And that might. So basically, what I'm thinking is just I'm setting the club inside here, and then I continue to rotate to set the club, but I'm verticalizing with my body rather than trying to verticalize it by default. But yeah, what I was trying to do is go inside to then go vertical here, like that. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm reaching a position where I'm weak at the top. Where, on the other hand, if I kind of set the club inside here, I continue rotating, but trying to really, with all my body, verticalize the club here, then I'm a much stronger position because my whole body is engaged into setting the club in the right plane rather than just putting it. So okay, maybe. And this might allow me to actually bend that left leg, keep my angle here. Maybe that's interesting. Let's try that. So here, really, you don't care about the plan. You pretty much you set the club in in one plan. Okay, the club, I have more angle, but still the club is not nearly close enough to be inside. So I'm not rotating my shoulder enough. The hip didn't move that much. Yes, they have moved quite a lot actually. So that's mainly the issue here. So it's not setting the. It's not that I'm not setting the club. It's just that. The ball didn't go very high on this one. You don't get it? Okay, club better here. Okay. And you see, I'm not trying to verticalize it in the way I'm taking the club away. Try to verticalize it with the body actually, and we see that kind of fine as long as my hands stay. Okay, still my hip. Oh, that's insane now. And I'm trying not to rotate them, but that's kind of. You know what? Let's try this. Let's try to actually rotate my hips on the other side, because by keeping them passive, they actually rotate. So let's try to rotate my hips that way as I'm taking the club back that way. Oh, now I understand it. Not sure this is going to be good, but I've just understood, I believe, something very important here. Yes, I believe that's better. What I've understood is, so you have the set on the right leg that actually really do, but that has actually a consequence is this is shutting the hips to that way mainly. And now that I just realized, okay, maybe the beginner of downswing is doing that because he's trying actually to rotate his hip in the other direction as he's rotating his upper body. That way, by initializing the rotation of his hips forward, he creates a resistance that will prevent the hips from getting too much to avoid having the hips engage too much. Oh, I'm losing my words here. So yeah, basically. Oh, that's definitively better. There's probably a ton of little things that I'm not yet doing right, but at least the takeaway, it's still a little bit too much outside, but you see that my hips didn't move at all. So I'm kind of setting the club here and the hips are still in right position. That's good. The hands are not perfectly in front of the chest. They're a little bit behind, but that's better. Okay, so the idea is you want to set the club here. Yeah, my leg are dead. Swinging 98, it just means that my leg are just dead. Let's try to move a little, to introduce more momentum here. Because the idea is you need to understand how it's producing that much power with those motions. That's kind of the key here. Where really? 102. Please. Yeah, but I'm getting the club very flat here. Surprisingly. That's mainly setting the club with the rotation of the upper body, and that's it. You only do that. You set the club with the rotation of the upper body, and that's it. And you do that as aggressively as you possibly can. Okay? I believe, given that I'm putting more energy into the ball, into the swing, that kind of club is fully set here. Just, I believe my hand might be too much outside here. Yeah. So that's that, but he's doing it on more. Despite what I said, he's still doing it on a more vertical motion. So. Okay, I believe that this is that. I believe I have it. So, two key things here. Pretty much, you just set the club. That's it. The only thing, the only thought is setting the club. But here's the deal: you set the club using the shoulder rotation and nothing else. And you do it. You do at least the takeaway in a vertical motion. But I believe I probably need to continue verticalizing even more after that's vertical. So I believe what I said earlier is still stand. I need to verticalize the club with the body, but the takeaway still need to be somewhat a little bit vertical and inside here. Okay, the club set some. A little late. A little late. He's setting the club much sooner than me. So, yeah, I still have some work to do on that side, but yeah, that's okay. And what I'm mesmerized with is actually his legs. So I try to actually not set vertically, but rather completely flat, and try to get the club as inside as possible, and then really going. Yeah, doesn't. Not bad. That's not perfect. I believe I'm more on the right track with the first one than the second one. It's just that I need to set the club much faster. And probably this is going to come by actually having the hips rotating less during the backswing. Okay, then if I do let's try to do exactly that, but with more momentum, which should actually flat out the club a little bit. "105, let's go." We start getting maybe the session actually use start light recovery, let's say. Okay. Okay, I believe that's good enough. Probably in the future we will need to come back on it with more details here. I believe by doing so, I'm actually closer to Roy's swing like 1 or 2 years ago, where I was going a little bit flat and inside. I'm very curious to see. I will see because I'm recording from face-on, but at home I will compare the swing here to see. I believe the face-on view will not be that bad. There is also a big difference. Is I'm kind of more bent on my legs than he is. If really I wanted to push the comparison a lot, I remember in 2014 he was kind of a lot more upright when he was standing in front of the wall, almost completely dead upright. Yes. So let's try to do that. Because when you are up at the setup, then you are moving down. That may be what he was doing here. Anyway, so let's try to get that top position now. To try to understand how does he get to this top position. So, because something that I don't really see down the line is the fact that he's so. Okay, here I'm kind of setting the curve here. That's fine. And then this is about kind of trying to keep the moving down and keeping the arm as right as possible. Let's so. Okay, moving down. I'm moving forward and down, which is fine, which is what I'm looking for here. But my hips turn way too much. I'm kind of getting out of my posture a little bit. Yeah. For the first time, I felt it. I felt like this rotation, but now I'm kind of wondering how is that the case? How? Let's try something here. Let's try to rotate the shoulder until I'm on my left side. Just keep rotating. Keep rotating. Ah, there is something here. So what I thought here is, you know what? You rotate here, but instead of doing anything as you are shifting your weight and so on, maybe the reason is just once you are here, just try to rotate as you're trying to shift your weight to your other side, and just rotate until the backswing, the downswing actually starts. You know what? Just keep rotating your upper body as much as possible until the downswing starts. And when you're on your left side, then you can go after it. Maybe that's kind of the idea here. That's kind of a little better. So I'm actually... But, and that's the key here. As I'm rotating, I'm kind of letting my arm do whatever they want. Maybe I should just, once I'm here and the screw is set, I keep rotating and shift my weight, but really trying to keep the arm as far away from me as possible and in front of me as possible. So here, Oh yeah, I believe that. Of course, there is a lot of details that come into it, but, and you see 1.55 smash factor. That just means that probably the club speed is wrong. Club speed is probably much higher. Because the ball speed is generally the value you can rely on with the TrackMan. Club speed sometimes it's a little bit sketchy. Anyway, so yes, it's very interesting here. And so because in my analysis, what I said is I really rotate and try to keep everything far away as possible as he's setting the club. But what it seems to me is actually setting the club, rotating, and nothing really happened at this point. But then this is once he reaches the halfway point, then he rotate even more his shoulder. But then at this point, this is where he's trying to recreate that big separation where I try to keep the club and the arm as far away from him as possible. That way, as he's shifting his weight that way during the transition, that allow me to be in a very strong position, maybe, probably, even. But if, remember, at the halfway point, the club is pulling you behind and up. So, I shouldn't just rotate and keep the arm here. I should rotate and try to get my arm forward as I'm shifting down to my left side. So a lot more forward also, let's say. So and the fact that I'm getting my arm much forward as I'm rotating and keeping all of that should actually get my hand less behind and more forward and high as Rory stop position. So he didn't read, but it's okay. See here the smash factor still high, but even the speed is a little higher. It's kind of okay. So let's check. Did I take away somewhat? Okay. Yeah, the hand are a lot more high, a lot higher by doing so. Period. Perfect. I don't ask for anything there. I try to focus a little bit on the downswing here to see if that can, because until now the issue I had was to kind of having the club a little too flat at the top. But given what we've saw, or maybe that's just because my arm was still a little too behind. Yeah, maybe that's just that. If my arm are behind, it's much easier for me to get across the line. But if I keep my arm kind of forward, connected, not really focus on getting across the line, because until now I had to focus on getting across the line since that wasn't really a natural tendency for me. But it seems that Rory, that's not necessarily something that I remember he has ever said. Even that quite the opposite. The thing that I ever him said is kind of he getting across the line, so he tried to work on getting a little flatter. So maybe that's just byproduct of doing the right motion, or at least the motion that he does. So here, I set the club here, and then I continue rotating, trying to keep my hand kind of forward here and letting the fact that the club is set and the rotation of my shoulder, just setting the club on the right plane. Oh yeah, I feel it much better here. I don't know if the club is going to you said the right way, but yeah, it means I can just keep going. I can just keep going and do it even more. And this one, I got the feeling that it was flat. If it's not, that's really mesmerized me. Oh, why? Why you didn't? What's wrong, buddy? Nothing? Nothing is wrong. Okay, we are. Okay, let's try to put it exactly where it was, because it was kind of fine here. But I'm really lucky that I find a way to put my half on, because otherwise it would have been a wasted session. Okay, don't move, buddy. And I believe it's kind of fucking with my brain, because I get the feeling that my arms are getting more and more in front of my chest, but that doesn't necessarily equate to having the club flat. Yeah, the club is still across the line. That's completely mesmerized, because I thought it was actually not across the line. So yes, that's going to be difficult here. Put it like this. Please don't fall. Okay, so now I just need to focus on the downswing, flattening out the club, so I can deliver. And I believe if I'm doing it both, club should be in perfect position at the top. And as soon as I'm putting a little more energy, 106. Okay, that's. Yes, exactly. Fuck yeah. So I'm not sure the top position is perfect, but see here, it's still moving a little bit, so we still need to work on that, of course. Club is almost fully set here, and yeah, still have my hips, but at least my hands are much higher, much more connected to my chest. Face on, probably I'm turning a lot more. But this is a lot of good things. I still have to figure out the hips here. Maybe I should just watch a few videos on YouTube, people talking about hips. at some point, that's something I like to do. It's just I don't like, because most of the advice you find on YouTube, they are good when you're a beginner, maybe an intermediate, but as soon as you're getting somewhat advanced player, most of the advice are not that good. But sometimes, by searching for specific things, after watching almost every video that there is on YouTube about the subject, I can find one key that will click for me. That will say, okay, maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason. Because see, thing is, given to be to stand out on social media, you pretty much have to say anything and everything, because if you're saying the same thing as everybody, you're not standing out, and so you're not successful. So what happened is that's just the dynamic of social media. What happened, you arrive at a point where pretty much anything has been said. So for everybody, so they are telling some truth and a lot of wrong. But if you are knowledgeable enough, after you can weed out the wrong and figure out the little nuggets of wisdom that they actually have. But they don't know, because they pretty much think everything they think is right, but most of it is not. But there is a few things that you can. That's something that I feel it's important to stay open-minded all the time, because it doesn't matter who you're talking to, you might learn a little something that is actually going to make a big difference. Don't take their opinion too much in consideration, but stay open-minded. You might find something. You might find a nugget of wisdom that actually make a huge difference. And yeah, because he's starting very upright. Not when I'm doing that. Oh, maybe my right leg, because it doesn't rotate and load into my right glute good. Oh, maybe this is that. I'm not loading my right glute enough, and so I don't have resistance. So yeah, maybe you know what? Let's try to rotate those hips, but rotate them right, because if I try to not rotate them, actually I'm rotating them the wrong way. So. A little better. Oh yeah, that's kind of. But I try to not rotate my hips, I end up being forced to rotate them. Maybe that's the key here. Is okay until the halfway point. That's fine. Not to try to rotate at all. But at the top of the backswing, yeah, really loading that glute as I'm shifting my weight to the left and finishing the rotation of my upper body. The reason I'm not getting that much speed is because 100 miles is pretty much just the reaction of my backswing. I'm not putting any effort here. Okay, interesting. 1 hour, 20 minutes. Oh. So yeah, I wanted to try just to see 1 hour, how much calories that is. not necessarily going too much. But you know what? I think that's it for today. Because even if I'm not feeling it right now, my leg was still hurt yesterday. So even the fact that I'm not feeling anything is a good thing. So I just hope that I've burned enough calorie for me for today. Just what I'm hoping for. But yes, I think that's it. Yeah, maybe I'm going to do one last thing. Try to record from down the line to kind of make that that comparison with the swing. Let's do that just to finish. Hop. I'm going to, since this is the end, don't need to have the charger on. Let's try to not mess up with my iPhone here. Okay, is it good here? Why autofocus cancel? I don't want autofocus cancel. Okay, here we go. Am I? No, it's too low. Okay, it's too low. Here we go. Come here, baby. A little higher, like this. Is it good? Yeah, should do it. Should do it. And my iPhone is just above, so we should have some shots here. We should have some shots. So. Are you filming down the line or not? Yeah. Okay, let's just go after it really hard. I mean, really hard, with all things considered, with my fatigue and the fact that I'm not used to the motion, just to see if that actually makes something. Get the club a little flatter, maybe. Oh yeah, completely forgot to keep the arm more in front. As I'm rotating, really trying to keep the arm as further as I'm continuously rotating. Should keep my hand relatively low or high. Yeah, but actually I felt, because I need to do it, but I need to be in the right position at the takeaway. Missed bowl. Okay, not bad. I think that's enough for today. So thanks you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next session. And I believe we are going to validate, not necessarily validate that, but because that's kind of validated from down the line. Now, what I want to see is face on, if that look as good as it is, and and also compared to the actual swing of Rory, because that honestly that made a huge difference. Having the swing right here, I'm stopping the guessing game. Now let me show you so you can see what I'm talking about here. Wait a minute. You see my setup here, my TrackMan, the two computers, the ball. So yeah, having the swing here to compare to compare it is actually quite useful. And so I can then see this here. So yes, I believe that make a huge difference. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.